longevity clinics, private longevity clinics, in industry leaders from startups to larger enterprises, corporates, whoever is involved in the field will join to shape it together. Because ultimately, the future of healthy longevity society should be creation of recommendations and at some point of time guidelines, which are flexible, and creation of medical discipline, meaning work with medical councils who will approve it in a way that at some point of time you will know that your longevity physician had a training and a certificate.
Welcome to Longevity by Design, a podcast designed to give individuals access to the leading scientific information in the field of longevity. The ability to add years to your life and life to your years needs no opinion. Join us as we ask science to take the wheel. In each episode, Dr. Gil Blander joins a co-host and an industry expert in the field of longevity, shining a light and getting the answers to the key question: how can we live a longer, healthier life?
Hello, I'm Dr. Gil Blander. Welcome to Longevity by Design, how to live a longer, healthier life. We are produced by InsoTracker, your science-based guide to optimize your body from the inside out. Our guest today is Dr. Evelyne Bischof. Dr. Evelyne Yehudit Bischof, MD, PhD, MPH, is a well-known physician and thought leader in the longevity and precision medicine. She is the president of the Healthy Longevity Medicine Society, HLMS. Dr. Bischof is also the medical director of the Shiba Longevity Center in Israel and holds a professorship in medicine at both Shanghai University and Tel Aviv University. She is also served as the International Center for Multi-Morbidity and Complexity in Medicine at University of Zurich, with a clinical training across Europe, the US, and China, including Harvard affiliate hospital like Mass General and Dana-Farber, as well as the Columbia University and top institution in Shanghai and Switzerland. Dr. Bischof brings a truly global perspective. Her research spans oncology, longevity medicine, AI in healthcare, digital health, and biogerontology. She has published over 100 peer-reviewed papers, frequently speaks at international conferences, and serve on multiple scientific and advisory boards in the biotech and longevity space. We are thrilled to have her on the show again. We interviewed her in episode 26, and I'm so excited to explore the cutting edge of personalized preventative medicine together with her. Welcome, Evelyne.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for making me sound so good.
Yeah, you are very good. And as I said in the introduction, I know you for several years, started to know you from the ARDD conference, which is an amazing conference that's coming soon at the end of August in Copenhagen. And yeah, you are an amazing, and what you are doing is amazing. And I want to describe it and to discuss it and show to our audience what someone that is both a scientist and a physician is doing in the aging research. A lot of applicable solution here, so I'm very excited for this episode. But let's start from the beginning for whoever haven't listened or view our former episode. What inspired you to become a physician and a scientist?
Right. So thank you, first of all, thank you so much once again. And I would really say everything I did or I do is really a team sport. So I'm just extremely fortunate to be working with amazing experts and very good friends in the field. And back in France, what inspired me to be a physician, I think, was exactly that. This, first of all, this puzzling things together to find out what's wrong with the patient. And now even more so to puzzle things together and even more. So longevity medicine is really the ultimate happiness for me, to bring as much data as possible to not only to see what is pathological, but to build a health trajectory. And that's why I wanted to be in internal medicine. I spent most of my life actually in acute internal medicine. So not only hospitalized patients, but intensive care units and emergency room, and in oncology. So I like to say that mostly I've seen the end. And now I really like to see the future of health, and actually connected both together. That's why the intersection of oncology and aging research, which actually have so much in common.
Yeah. And, it's exactly the difference between prevention or treatment, and sounds like you are doing both. So can you explain what is longevity medicine and why is it important?
Sure, with pleasure. So as we try to say it now, and I think we don't have to go into the semantic debate. Some people say longevity medicine. We like to call it healthy longevity medicine. There might be a shift towards Healthspan medicine. In fact, we mean all the same. We're just trying to find the best word for it. And what we mean is really that we are trying to optimize the health span along the lifespan by targeting age-related processes. And so we really want to be not only preventative, but really also, in a way, anticipatory, and be able to use all the tools that we have right now and tools that are evolving very fast to really build health trajectories for patients. And at the same time, to be able to say where is the optimum for that patient at a specific point of time. That's healthy longevity medicine, and why it's important exactly for that. So as we are shifting towards being more aware of the fact that we can prevent pathological aging, we can decelerate the pace of aging, we can actually do something about the process of aging itself, which is the highest risk factor for age-related diseases, ultimately, we want to do it, right? And that's very important. And that's important not only for individual health, for population health, but also for the world economy. As we move forward, we need to optimize performance of everybody in any aspect possible. And that's what healthy longevity medicine is about. Although I really need to say, because there might be some misunderstanding, and it actually came from patients. It's so beautiful to be together always with one like in this so-called sick care or this normal medicine, and one like in healthy medicine, because then patients feedback to you, how is their perception? The perception is, we didn't communicate it right. So healthy longevity medicine is not only for healthy patients. Healthy longevity medicine is pretty much almost for all. We are now writing up a paper describing that. And when we had this debate with great colleagues, we found out that basically people who might not benefit per se from healthy longevity medicine are really extremely terminal palliative patients, or patients with massive cognitive decline and impairment. And so people with chronic diseases, cancer survivors, autoimmune disease patients, you name it, they all can still benefit from healthy longevity medicine, because it's all about optimizing health span. And for everybody, the health span trajectory and the health span level, let's say, will be different.
Yeah. And just a comment, currently in the US at least, the healthcare system behave or incentivized by incentive like the hotel and gym industry in the way. The goal is for the healthcare system is to fill in the hospital like an hotel, have all the bed full, and like a gym to fill all the machine, MRI machine and all of that. That's how they are incentivized. What you guys are trying to do is let's focus on the person and try to see what are the issues they are having. Not forget about the economical incentives, but try to help him to be a better him now and a better him in the future. And based on that, hopefully allow him to live better longer. That's drive me actually to the next question. You mentioned it a few times, and I would love you to describe it. What is Healthspan?
Mm-hmm. So I think, just to comment on that, I guess, the healthcare system is incentivized by immediate gain from some of the diagnostic methods, which first of all can be repurposed for other goals. In healthy longevity medicine, we use pretty much almost everything what a hospital can offer and more. And secondly, there are massive economic gains at the end of the road, because when we calculate hospitalizations that are acute and bring money, and those who are chronic and overdue and overstay and complications or rehospitalizations, they actually bring a lot of costs down. So like a lot of minus. So at the end of the day, we have good calculation value right now that for healthcare systems, it will be beneficial. It just takes a strong leadership that understands it. And here I have quite a lot of hope, actually, with the recent changes. And not only in the US, but also all around the world. I mean, we see Saudi Arabia, which is, for me, one of the main leaders on how the government and the leadership of the country, really the brightest minds, are leading the field. UAE is another, China now as well. So a lot of things going on. But yeah, exactly, what helps then, right? So lots of proposals of definitions, a lot of debates. But I guess when we talk among each other, among the experts, and when we try to convey the message to patients and the others, health span is the span, the time of your life that you live without chronic diseases or without age-related diseases that cause a significant impairment of your function. So we all decline, the functional decline is there, but when it comes with comorbidity, then it leads to problems. And that's something that is already outside the health span.
Yeah, and that's a super important because nobody want to live to 100, but in the last, 20 years, lie on the bed connected to tubes and basically be miserable. All of us want at the age of 90 to see our grandchildren, go to a hike, travel the world, and that's exactly a health span. Have fun, enjoy your retirement, and not waste it in the hospital all the time. And I'm 100% with you, as you know, and agree that the health span is what is important. Very exciting about that. Can you maybe describe what does it mean about longevity medicine? What do you do differently than, let's say, if I'm as a patient get into, and we'll get later to what you are doing at Shiba Medical Center. But let's say I'm getting into either longevity center in an hospital or longevity clinic. What should I expect that is different than when I'm getting into my primary care physician annual physical?
Yeah, I think it's better to say what is there additional to what you would say. And also one of the main goals of healthy longevity medicine is exactly that. The doctors who are either family physicians, and mainly those because they have the closest contact to patients in most of the countries, but also other experts from endocrinology through gynecology, through dermatology, you name it, pretty much all specialties will implement something from the healthy longevity medicine, which they can use. And then this is how we build the ecosystem. So I would rather say it's something that is together rather than separate. And the things that are coming in as an added value from healthy longevity medicine is a specific diagnostic that would be driven not by the normative ranges, which were based on clinical trials in years ago in populations in specific ethnicities, but really, of course, with the help of AI, mostly to direct to what is optimal for that patient. And by this, I don't only mean the blood tests, I mean also all the radiological tests from MRIs, CTs, and so on, body composition tests, and then cognition tests, and then going into the functionality of the patient. So really objective measurements of sleep, of, I mentioned already cognition, but that also in combination with mental health. Then very importantly, looking at the menopause and andropause. Bottom line, adding diagnostics that will help us to know what is optimal for the patient, and also go a little bit beyond in terms of biomarkers of aging, because the ultimate question that we want to ask is how is this person aging? Is there an acceleration of the biological aging? Where is the biological aging acceleration? So the building of new biological aging clocks, and finding out which biomarkers of aging are actually very good endpoints for clinical trials will then allow us to perform the right clinical trials to find which interventions are safe, efficient, and efficacious. So that's what healthy longevity medicine is doing, and where it's different. That's the very general picture. There are a few new perks where new interventions are coming into place, where also influences from other disciplines playing an important role with the innovations. But The core is additional diagnostics and new interventions, specifically focusing on biological age or ages and mitigating the pathological aging.
Okay. So if I will try to summarize it in my words, just to be sure that I got it and hopefully our audience will get it. First, you have much more diagnostics. So the diagnostic is much wider than what you do in a normal primary care visit. And it's not only blood biomarkers, it's also other testing, maybe sometimes data from your fitness tracker that those longevity physicians understand better, because when I show my data of my Fitbit or Garmin or Apple Watch or Oura Ring to my physician, they look at me, what do you want from me? It's not medical. But you guys, as someone that are more open-minded and head of the curve, understand and look at that. And for example, VO2 max is something very important, and I'm sure that in the longevity clinics, you're looking at that. Then you come with not only the normal, and the normal is boring, and I said it from I started the InstaTracker, and we added it to InstaTracker. Normal is boring, optimal range. What is optimal for me? I don't want you to compare me to a 90 years old lady. I'm not a lady and I'm not 90. So compare me to someone that is like me, and I want to be optimal. I want to be in my best. So that's great. Then on top of that, you are heading some biological age clock and other things that can simulate and show me how am I aging from the inside, not from the outside, what's happening inside the body. And then in some places, you provide some a new and exciting and cutting edge, bleeding edge intervention that a normal clinician won't provide to you, because they are still in the bleeding edge and they haven't been got approval with, let's say, all the society of organization of medicine. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, I would just say that definitely a little bit more or different diagnostics and some more interventions. Depends a little bit where. And we will be talking about Shiba, which is an academic institution. We have the same limitations like our colleagues in other hospitals. So we understand that very well. And yeah, we definitely use a lot of technology. We love data. And I think that will slowly come also into other practices. It's just that takes a little bit of time to learn and a little bit of time to review. And in a normal healthcare system, nobody has this time. So that's something that a longevity physician should cover for the patient, to explain the diagnostics that was done and for what, to explain how we came up with the optimized ranges and what to do to keep it or to intervene. Explain that a lot of the interventions might have a low level of evidence. Some of them have high level of evidence of the old type of evidence system. And then also be able maybe to jump in and to navigate if a patient by him or herself decided to use some interventions that we don't know enough about, right? But at least to keep that person safe, at least to make a regular measurements and to make sure that there is at least no harm, and then observe and learn. That's something that we also do. That's in the concept of the N1 trial. So if you come to a longevity center, position yourself as an N1 clinical trial patient, and your longevity physician should, take you enthusiastically and lead you along the way.
Yeah. So another point, and you're right, that I haven't mentioned, is you receive usually much more attention than going to a normal clinician. At least in the US, the clinician have 15 minutes and he need to fill in all the information in the EMR, so he's not even looking at you. In a longevity clinic or center, you receive much more attention, and because of that, it's much more personal.
Most of the centers are private, right? So there's actually at this point of time pretty much only one public center, but in fact, the time per patient is very limited for everywhere around the world, not only in America, and it's a big struggle. But hopefully, just like in longevity medicine, everywhere else we will have a good help of AI. So the example you just brought, hopefully AI will capture all the things that will need to go to the EMR so that the patient, the physician can be with you. They're moving from high tech to high touch.
Yeah. No, I agree. But because of so much regulation, at least in the US, I think that the AI penetration to the healthcare system, at least in the US, will be much slower than what we see in other places. I hope that I'm wrong, but that's my impression. I want to, Eva, to continue with the discussion. And even so that we discuss it, I want to ask it again. And the question is, let's assume that I'm a Joe Woe, and I live in, I don't know, in Texas somewhere. And I want to consider whether I will go to a longevity center or longevity clinic versus not. And can you describe for him again, what is the value, what are the risks, and what should he expect to receive from it?
Sure. So definitely longevity should be on top, like above, like in addition to prevention, right? Some longevity clinics offer both in the same place, so that's fantastic. Some are separate and in addition to preventative measures of the patient. And what the patient, like what you would have to expect is that you will get a broader panel of tests, both functional tests, radiological tests, lab tests, fully new tests, right? Some technologies that assess your cognition much better, some technologies that assess your biological ages. You might expect also some AI algorithms that are implemented into the radiological MRIs, CTs, PETs, whatever it is. And definitely you might expect that there will be a lot of tests that will assess things that are outside the guidelines. For example, you are a 40 years old male and you might go, to do a bone check, right? A bone density check. You are outside, or you will have a panel on cancer markers that are outside. So those things. So you need to understand the risk. The risk for you is if there is a false positive finding and you have anxiety, you should be aware of the fact that it might be a discussion. Other than that, people who frequent longevity clinics are actually those who want to know. Then there is a whole arena of omics, right? Whole genome and proteomics, lipidomics, and so on. That's a whole new debate. Of course, in longevity clinics, we usually love it. And we think it's a very important part of the journey. And you should expect in most of the places that you will have your whole genome sequenced and you will know what are your mutations and also what are your polygenic risk scores, as to say. So what are your probabilities of developing a disease, and also pharmacogenomics, so that you know how well or not at all you respond to specific medications, which is very helpful also in the sick care. Yeah. And then you should expect a physician to explain it all to you and give you a protocol adjusted to you.
Yeah. As a Longevity by Design podcast listener, you understand the value of improving your health for today and for all the years ahead. And if you want to live your healthiest, longest life possible, you need to understand what's going on inside. At Inside Tracker, we take a personalized approach to Healthspan optimization that eliminates guesswork from your wellness plan. Inside Tracker analyzes blood biomarker and DNA data, along with physiomarker data from fitness trackers like Oura Ring, to deliver personalized food, supplement, lifestyle, and exercise recommendations that allow you to take control and improve your health span. And for a limited time, Longevity by Design listeners can get 20% off at the Inside Tracker store. So if you're ready to receive a personal health analysis and data-driven wellness plan to optimize your body for the long haul, then it's time to start inside. Visit insidetracker.com/podcast to get started today. That's insidetracker.com/podcast to get started today.
No, that's great. And I think that we need to mention that currently is mainly paying out of pocket. So the price can be pretty high, and correct me if I'm wrong, unless you go to a longevity center like Shiba, that then it's covered by the government, but that's really a rare effect. So you need to expect to pay a significant amount of money, but in my opinion, it's worth it because that will hopefully, I know in my age, every year that I can live in a good health and maybe longer, that's priceless. So that's something that, in my opinion, it's worth paying to hopefully receive the value. So we discussed that, and now I want to try to understand what is the magnitude of the longevity clinician. How many clinicians in the world are practicing longevity medicine? What is your estimate?
Oh, that's a difficult one. But there was just recently a survey actually done by Phil Newman from Longevity Technology, who I looked at various clinics, right? And there were hundreds of clinics and also physicians in their practices who implement longevity medicine, right? So once again, we still don't have a specialty called longevity physician, but we have doctors who implement it. And I would definitely assume there are thousands all around the world, physicians and clinics. We have a bunch that are well known and have been around for a long time and have a good data set and are really credible. And those clinics are more or less shaping the field and bringing through the technologies and the diagnostics. I think the magnitude is, as everybody who is in touch with the field just a little bit would agree, that the magnitude is huge and it's expanding like a universe. There are good things about it and bad things about it. I think in general, I'm rather an optimist in that point, not general. I think bringing awareness is important, and then everybody, needs to find a way to sift through the information, what's credible, what's not, and what's fully commercially driven and what's actually there for the benefit of a patient. But if I can make predictions, and definitely that's a part of our work of people in the field, is that healthy longevity medicine has to be at least a subdiscipline or a discipline next to endocrinology, cardiology, oncology, and that the magnitude will be the same like for any other discipline. It has to be a part of what we do as physicians. It has to be a part of what we learn as medical students, and it has to be something that people understand, right? So and it's work in progress.
Thank you. And where in the world are they concentrated? Which country is leading the movement, and which one left behind?
Right. So I can, give examples of countries who are doing a beautiful advanced work in it. I just mentioned before. So once again, Saudi Arabia and UAE, but also the entire GCC region. To be very honest, they are very advanced and doing amazing work on not only bringing longevity clinicians and longevity clinics, but really leading, healthy longevity cities as a pilot, and bringing implementations of healthy longevity medicine into the daily life. Of course, USA has a high amount of doctors who implement healthy longevity medicine. Those are colleagues who came from functional medicine or other fields, plenty of specialists. China. So China might not be on the radar of many people, but actually when somebody is a little bit familiar, they would see that some of the best minds are sitting in China. Also, China has a huge biomarkers of aging consortium, has a very high leadership in terms of science in aging, a little bit less still on the clinical, but I predict that will grow very soon. And then, of course, in Asia Pacific, Singapore and Indonesia. I would almost say, Europe is definitely there, and there are clinics. We see that in the UK, we see that in Switzerland, but I still feel that Europe could do a little bit more. And like you mentioned, maybe it's because of a little bit of an overregulation of many of the AI tools and ethics, which of course should be there, but sometimes people need a little bit more of an incentive rather than to fight always with the regulation. And I would really love to see more coming. Africa is right now getting there as well. South Africa has initiatives, everybody in a little bit different level. And I think what would also be seen very soon is more of the area of India, right? Very powerful country on that side. I think we'll see more and more. They're already there. They're doing a lot, but probably we will see much more from that side. Yeah.
And if as a consumer or as a potential patient, I'm looking for a longevity clinician, how can I find him? Is there a database that I can look at? Is it what's the way to find a good longevity clinician?
This is a very good question. Work in progress. We are working on a registry as a Healthy Longevity Medicine Society because it's important. And also there is this longevity education hub which is the platform to educate physicians. That's also a platform for longevity doctors. So, but you are right. At this very moment, if you just Google, you will find a lot, but it will be difficult to make a decision. And so the better structured registry is work in progress.
Yeah. No, and that's a good segue to discuss the organization that you are leading, the Healthy Longevity Medicine Society. And just a spoiler alert, I'm a member of this society from the beginning, and I really love what you are doing. So maybe explain to us what is the organization vision?
Sure, with greatest pleasure. So Healthy Longevity Medicine Society was created in 2022 officially, but it was a work that we did since 2020 with Professor Andrea Meyer, who is the former president. I actually hate to say that she's a former president. I still feel that she's, we run it. It's our baby. I'm not sure if it's politically correct to say that, but definitely something we are very passionate about and we love. And so it's an organization who was shaped with the mission and with the goal of positioning healthy longevity medicine as a subspecialty or specialty in the field, which of course then requires working on guidance and recommendations. We actually call it standards of clinical practice. Secondly, education of physicians, healthcare professionals, anybody who is involved in the field. And thirdly, also, of course, bringing all the necessary puzzles that are important for the field to grow, which is, for example, collaborations with industry, collaborations with all the technologies that are important for diagnostics and interventions, collaborations with public health, global health stakeholders, so the countries implement and approve that. That's all what we want to do. That's our mission. And the steps towards that are of course evolving, and we started with already initiatives that were led for the last 2 years, and we are growing. We are definitely growing and evolving, both in actions and an amount of people involved.
Yeah. And I just want to mention one activity that you are doing that I really like, and I'm joining it every month when I can, is basically the case study. So every month they are bringing a clinician that practicing longevity medicine, and he described a case study of specific a patient, obviously anonymized, and explaining what is the diagnostic, and based on that, what is his plan, what he's doing, and asking expert in the field. A lot of time, Professor Nir Barzilai is there, and he's bringing his expertise about longevity and what to do. So it's very interesting, and I think that, in my opinion, it's a must for every clinician that really want to get into this domain to be part of this organization and also join those case study. But as you said, there are a lot of other activity like education and so on. So I want to follow up and ask, who should join the organization? Is it only clinician and maybe crazy scientists like me? Or is it, who are you trying to target as a member of the Healthy Longevity Medicine Society?
So for definitely anybody who is crazy is welcome, but we welcome not only doctors. That's of course one of the main pillars. Those are the so-called ordinary members, the physicians and healthcare professionals, because we understand that we cannot work in longevity without nurses, therapists, means nutritionists, psychologists, and you name it, physiotherapists, and so on. And secondly, of course, the industry. So we have the associate memberships, people who are involved in the field or interested, and we have a variety of people working with technologies, diagnostic tools, and so on. And finally, also, we have people from public health. So those who actually want to see what's going on, how to shape it in a credible way. And we're really proud that also, we work together. Or we served government of the UAE in Abu Dhabi, the Ministry of Health, creating the first set of standards. That's what we are targeting. And we really want to build an ecosystem. So we welcome, of course, private and public sector. We welcome doctors and therapists and people who provide doctors with tools and solutions, And then those can also benefit from hearing from doctors and from patients what should be better, what should be more, where it's like this kind of AI type of learning through correction and feedback is something that we are looking at.
Yeah. And I just want to add the membership fee is pretty affordable, so nobody will break his wallet to join. And
Yes, we keep it low.
And I think that the value is amazing. I also want to add, we discussed ARDD before, so every year, the first day or two of the ARDD conference, which is one of the best conferences that have been related to longevity, dedicate to this initiative of the Healthy Longevity Medicine Society. So this is another great activity that the organization is doing. Can you give us, if you can, a bit of understand what is the magnitude? How many members do you have? Or it's not, you don't want to share it?
Oh, why not? Of course, we can share. We don't have really big secrets there. The opposite. We actually are always looking for volunteers who would like to help us to spread the news. So we have now about 300 ordinary members, meaning doctors who are actively involved. And then additional to that, we have associate members who are coming from industry and public health.
Yeah. And I really think that it should be like maybe 10 times, if not 100 times bigger. So everyone that listening to this podcast, I really, really recommend you, if you are interested in longevity, there is a lot of information there and it can help you to, even if you are not a clinician and even if you're not a scientist, it can be very valuable for you. And a personal question to you, Evelyne. Why have you joined the organization, and also why have you decided to become a president, which is, I assume, a big ask and taking a lot of your time?
So, as I mentioned before, Andrea and myself, so Professor Meyer and myself, we were in touch. It was COVID time, and we had frequent Zooms, which then became actually our regular Sunday Zooms. And we were talking about many things, and then we found that really we both have this dream to have a society. We looked if there is already one, that there wasn't, right? So we founded it, right? And then we have actually very official statutes. We are registered in Switzerland, so you can imagine it's very much according to the law and order. And we have a council which consists of Professor Thomas Randall, Professor Neil Barzilai, Professor Harold Pincus from Columbia, leading psychologist, a psychiatrist, in Columbia for years, and myself and Professor Meyer, and now also already since the beginning also Professor James Kikla, but now he's the vice president of the association, and we have a new member, Dr. Nicole Sirotin from the UAE, and it's an election, and in the first election, Professor Maya Andrea, she was elected as president, and in this round, I was very honored to be elected, and it's really a great honor. But I really have to say, even though I'm the president, it's still a teamwork, and we really lead it together. With all the council and yes, it takes a while. It takes a lot of my time. It takes a lot of the time of the entire council. I think we are just so passionate, and we really want to have a credible discipline driven by evidence, but also at the same time having this elasticity and flexibility to implement innovation. It's a little bit, I don't want to say it's harder, but it's definitely very hard to have a discipline and a medical society that is in need to implement a very, very evolving, fast speed geroscience part, industry part, computational part, AI part, and on top of that, also regulatory path, which is always delayed. And so that's what we are trying to do. Yeah.
No, it is amazing. And how do you see the future of the Longevity Medicine Society? So.
Yeah. So actually, as you mentioned, the members. So until now, and we continue. Our members are all members who are actually applying for membership, and we review them. And we hope to grow. We hope to grow also in a way that we will have more interactions with the industry. So longevity clinics, private longevity clinics, in industry leaders from startups to larger enterprises, corporates, whoever is involved in the field will join to shape it together. Because ultimately, the future of healthy longevity society should be creation of recommendations and at some point of time guidelines, which are flexible, and creation of medical discipline, meaning work with medical councils who will approve it in a way that at some point of time you will know that your longevity physician had a training, a certificate, and is fully equipped with the tools that you need. And the clinic that you are frequenting is with the quality and safety that you need, right? So that's the future of the society. And if I may say, because you know me, I love education and I love young people. So now, since several months already, we also have a group in our longevity society that is called the Young HLMS group, and they are actively not only helping us with the tasks, but also writing papers, co-creating educational programs. They will be there at ARDD. What I think is so beautiful is that we are really targeting also students, medical students, scientific students, people who are activists in the field. I think in the future, I want to see more of those.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. The best way to change behavior is to educate the young one, because they don't have a bad habit that they need to break. So it makes a lot of sense. You are, on top of all of that, you're also the medical director of the Shiba Longevity Center in Israel. Can you describe what you are doing there and what is the vision of this longevity center?
Sure, with pleasure. So this center was actually built over the past 5 years and started to be in operation 1.5 years ago, together with Professor Tzipi Strauss, who is the head of the department and the medical director. And we shaped it. We also have Dr. Goshen, who leads the R&D and science. We had really a great chance and honor, as you mentioned, to get funded to open a center, to build a center and to open a center for 1,500 people in a cohort of our clinical trial, which is called the SHARP study. But this clinical trial is really operating as an outpatient department, and it's positioned in the academic university hospital, top 10 in the world. And people are coming there for free for longevity assessment, full 360 diagnostics, review and longevity protocol that is given to them, being followed up for 1 year, coming then for 6 months follow-up and 12 months follow-up. And hopefully we can continue this cohort, really like a Framingham cohort over the years for the future. And we created this also in a way that we have a control and interventional arm to really compare. Why? Because we want to show to the healthcare systems, to the health insurance companies, and so on, that it makes sense to have this sort of package covered for people who just really want to optimize their health. So that's what we do.
And what is the control and what is the treatment in this study?
Sure. So the interventions are ranging from supplements to medication through lifestyle intervention, everything that's very much individualized, like in any other longevity clinic, right? And the control group is getting the assessment, but without a physician's review or interventions. And they still come after 6 months and after 12 months, and then they switch automatically into intervention arm. We don't leave them without nothing. And then we have the comparison, the crossover comparison.
Cool. So it's not double blind, I assume, because they know that they
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah. It's a clinical trial, but it has a real world component for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said 1,500, which is a pretty big number.
Yeah.
A few follow-ups, so that's definitely a very interesting study. Do you have already all the 1,500, or you're still recruiting patients?
We have a waiting list of 1,000 people,
Okay, so you're
which we are good. We are good, but indeed, there's a good question. So we are measuring about 450 biomarkers of aging, and we have the three touch points. 3 times we measure them, but we are recruiting still patients in the top level, so 80 plus, really to have a good comparison. Indeed, most of the people who wanted to volunteer, they were in the group of 50 to 60.
okay.
And
So
it's quite representative.
if you are in Israel and you are 80 plus, you still might have a open spot. That's fair to say.
That's very fair to say it.
Yeah. Okay. And you said 450 markers. So what does it mean from a time span? The subject that coming, you need to spend what, like half a day, a full day, a couple of days?
Yeah, they have to spend almost the whole. So from 7:30 a.m. until at least 2:30 p.m. That's the whole assessment. We try to keep it in this frame of time. It could be longer if there would be more patients. And we are measuring those markers. We divide them into stations and then kind of domains. Go on back, ranging from stamina, cardiovascular health, sleep, brain, metabolic health, and so on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very,
very
interesting.
interesting, and I think that it's amazing that you're doing it. Congrats for that. So I think that we have an echo somehow. Do you hear an echo or not? Now, let's see. Okay. Can you hear me, Eva? I cannot hear you. So to the producer, let's cut this part.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you all the time. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can, but I have an echo, but that's fine. I can deal with that.
Okay. All right.
No, the echo went out, and I left a note to the producer to discard this part. Okay, so that's great about the Shiba Longevity Center. Very exciting. And my next question is a bit more general. And basically, how do you envision a life in 10, 20, 50 years from now? What significant change do you foresee in our lifespan, in our health span? What new breakthrough do you see in the field, and so on and so forth?
Oh, that's very challenging because the development of AI tools is so surprisingly fast. But I love it, right? So I'm really hopeful that we will have, first of all, in 5 years, that we'll have much faster tools to accelerate the AI diagnostics and health trajectories, to really have a much faster and cheaper assessment of every patient, and have AI tools to gather the data and automatically do what we do, the review of this and the individual plans. But in 10, 20, 50 years, I hope for more. I hope that the AI-based drug discovery and then also all the pathway towards FDA approval would be super ultra fast and spread all over. So I have a big hope into that. I think healthy longevity medicine serves partially very strongly the AI-based drug discovery. And I'm very passionate about it and involved. And secondly, I think we will have hopefully more technology solutions. So I don't want to name here specific ones, but everybody will understand when I say we need more interference. We need more of our brain being in a chip. We need more of AI being really strongly implemented into the human to give more performance. And last but not least, I also hope that we will have better ways of extending the health span to be at the same level of lifespan. I would wish that in less than 20 years, we will achieve closing of the gap.
Yeah. What about the lifespan? Do you foresee us living much longer in, let's say, not 10 years, but 20 or 50 years, or we go to the limit and 122 is the ultimate limit?
That's a difficult one. I'm not so well educated about radical life extension. It's colleagues from other domain. As a religious person, I would probably say 120 is what we what we have, but I'm very much focused on the health span. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And one more question about a new drug that coming. Everyone heard about GLP-1. I actually know a lot of people that using it, and the effect is amazing. But there are a lot of other. There is metformin. There is rapamycin, NAD analogs. What do you feel about those, and do you think that one of them can be a game changer, at least to health span? I don't want to push you on lifespan because it's like you're not sure yet.
So I think, like any drug that showed potential in mitigating or influencing positively processes of aging, positively, I mean, that decelerates it or makes it less pathological, such as metformin, such as some of the rapalogs, such as partially also the peptides, which you just mentioned, right? And more, like GLP-1 and further. I think I don't put a hope in one of those, for sure not. Actually, more and more research from Professor Barzilai even is showing that combinations probably will make much more sense. It's just that I hope we can have better ways to measure the biomarkers of aging that are influenced by those substances. That's what I'm much more hopeful for, rather than a specific drug. And I was almost thinking you will mention the AI-based drug that just got the official name in the registry. But I am also very much hopeful for them, almost more than the repurposed drugs. If we look at the longer time span, right now, yes, most of the hope is the repurposed drugs. Later on, most of the AI-based developed drugs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. AI is a revolution, and actually, I recorded, and actually, it will be out next week, but it will be before your episode, a full episode with Professor Eran Segal from the Weizmann Institute, which is expert in personalized nutrition, but also expert in AI, and we discuss AI for more than an hour, I think, and it's I think that the future is amazing, and there is so much to do with AI. So definitely, I'm with you about that. So thank you so much for all of that. And I usually finish the interview with a question about your top tip for health span and longevity. So I would love to hear what is your tip for our audience.
Ooh, that's a difficult one. There are several tips, but I think if I would be about to choose one, being very data driven, is try to collect as much data points about yourself as you can. Technology will help you with it, and it's fairly inexpensive right now in most of the cases. The more data you collect right now and the trends you collect right now will help you to better and more individualizedly, have your longevity protocol shaped.
Yeah, so that's a great tip, and I think that we recorded more than 80 episodes, and that's the first time that someone said. So I love it because I agree with that 100%. I think that building your baseline with as much information as possible will help you a lot in the future, because when you know the baseline, you know whether the next result is out or not. So absolutely a great a tip for everyone. Build your baseline, collect your data, store it in a place that you have it, and share it with the clinician. As we started at the beginning, I remember that I went to one of my clinicians and said that my ApoB might be high, and they asked, what is ApoB? So, so we have a lot of, as you said,
they were just trying to challenge you to tell them.
No,
they were checking your knowledge. They know very well.
No, there are clinicians that don't know what is that, and I think that that's part of what your association trying to do, is to educate them. And it's not because the clinicians are bad; it's because they are busy, and some of them learned 40 years ago, and some of the new technology that you discuss haven't been around. So organization like the one that you are leading can help them to be educated and know more and help the patient to live better longer. Any additional point before we'll sum, Evelyne?
No, I just really want to thank you so much for spreading the information about the field. It's something that I would like to put to everybody's heart. Education is something that shapes wisdom, and wisdom brings to good choices. And I really hope that everybody will have good choices. And with this, what you're doing, it's a very, very, very important piece for us.
Thank you so much, Evelyne. It was a pleasure, and we look forward to exploring the research in the field of longevity each month with you and the other leading scientists. For more information, please go to www.insotracker.com/podcast. Again, thank you so much, Evelyne. It was a pleasure, and good luck in your new position. And I hope that this organization will flourish and allow all of us to live better longer. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Longevity by Design. Please subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. Longevity by Design is powered by Inside Tracker, a personalized health optimization platform that helps people improve their lives by improving their bodies from the inside out, using personalized, science-backed recommendations for nutrition, supplements, and lifestyle changes. To learn more, visit insidetracker.com/podcast.